I lounged on my plush sofa, my eyes glued to my smartphone. As a 23-year-old social media influencer with over 5 million followers across various platforms, I was always on the lookout for the next big trend to keep my audience engaged and my brand relevant. My perfectly manicured fingers scrolled through an endless feed of posts, each one carefully crafted to maintain my picture-perfect image. As I swiped past yet another filtered selfie, a mysterious notification popped up on my screen. "Discover Cursed, the ultimate personalized experience," the message read, accompanied by an ominous logo of a black spiral. Intrigued, I tapped on the notification, which directed me to the App Store page for Cursed. The app's description promised an immersive, tailor-made journey that would change the way you see the world. The reviews were sparse but glowing, with users raving about the app's uncanny ability to predict their needs and desires. I hesitated for a moment, my thumb hovering over the download button. I had always been cautious about trying out new apps, especially ones with such bold claims. Just as I was about to dismiss the app, my phone buzzed with an incoming call from my best friend and fellow influencer, Zoe. "Hey girl, have you heard about this new app called Cursed? It's supposed to be the next big thing," Zoe gushed, her voice filled with excitement. I glanced back at my screen, the app's logo seeming to pulse with an otherworldly energy. "I was just looking at it," I replied, my curiosity piqued. "What do you know about it?" "Not much, but everyone's talking about it. They say it's like having a personal assistant, therapist, and entertainment system all in one. I think it could be huge for our brand if we get in on the ground floor," Zoe explained. I bit my lip, weighing the potential benefits against my instinctive caution. If Zoe was right, being one of the first influencers to showcase Cursed could cement my status as a trendsetter. I could already envision the sponsored posts and exclusive content I could create with the app's help. "All right, I'm in," I declared, tapping the download button with a sense of finality. The app installed quickly, its icon appearing on my home screen with an ominous flicker. I opened Cursed and was greeted by a sleek, minimalist interface that seemed to pulse with an unseen energy. As I began to explore the app's features, I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't quite right. The personalized recommendations and insights were unnervingly accurate, as if the app had been studying me for years. I dismissed my concerns, attributing them to my overactive imagination, and dove deeper into the app's offerings. Little did I know, as I lost myself in the allure of Cursed, that I had just taken the first step into a world of unimaginable horror. As days turned into weeks, I found myself increasingly captivated by Cursed. The app had become an integral part of my daily life, guiding me through every decision and interaction with an almost unsettling precision. My posts, carefully curated with the app's assistance, were garnering more likes and comments than ever before. My follower count soared, and brand deals flooded my inbox. It seemed like Cursed was the answer to all my prayers, propelling me to new heights of influencer stardom. But then, the glitches began. It started subtly at first. A flickering image here, a garbled message there. I brushed it off as a minor inconvenience, assuming the app's developers would soon release an update to fix the issues. However, as time went on, the glitches became more frequent and more disturbing. One evening, as I was scrolling through my Cursed feed, I stumbled upon a post that made my blood run cold. It was a photo of me, but not one I had ever taken or shared. In the image, I was standing in a dimly lit room, my face contorted in a grotesque expression of terror. The caption beneath the photo read, "The curse is spreading. You're next." I blinked, and the post vanished, replaced by the familiar stream of filtered selfies and sponsored content. My heart raced as I tried to make sense of what I had just seen. Was it a prank? A hack? Or something more sinister? As if on cue, my phone buzzed with an incoming message from Cursed. "We're watching you, Lina. You can't escape the curse." The words seemed to pulse on the screen, taunting me with their cryptic warning. I felt a sudden wave of nausea wash over me, and I stumbled to the bathroom, my phone clattering to the floor. I splashed cold water on my face, trying to calm my frayed nerves. But as I looked up into the mirror, I froze in horror. My reflection was distorted, my features twisted into a nightmarish caricature of myself. I blinked, and the image returned to normal, leaving me questioning my own sanity. Over the next few days, the glitches intensified. I began to receive eerie messages from unknown senders, each one more threatening than the last. My phone would emit a high-pitched whine at random intervals, piercing my skull with its incessant noise. And then there were the physical symptoms, the constant feeling of being watched, the unexplained bruises that appeared on my skin, and the searing migraines that left me incapacitated for hours. I knew I needed help, but I was too ashamed to reach out to anyone. How could I admit that the app I had so enthusiastically endorsed was now terrorizing me? I felt trapped, a prisoner of my own digital creation. Late one night, as I lay in bed, my phone clutched tightly to my chest, I received a video call from Zoe. I hesitated before answering, unsure if I could trust even my closest friend. But as her face filled the screen, I could see the same fear and confusion etched in her features that I knew mirrored my own. "Lina, something's wrong with Cursed," Zoe whispered urgently, her voice trembling. I think it's controlling me. I can't make it stop. We need to figure out what's going on before it's too late." As I listened to Zoe's terrified plea, I realized that I wasn't alone in my nightmare. The curse, whatever it was, had spread beyond my own device, infecting those closest to me. With a newfound sense of determination, I resolved to uncover the truth behind Cursed and put an end to the viral horror that threatened to consume us all. Zoe and I spent countless hours hunched over our phones, scouring the internet for any scrap of information about Cursed. We combed through forums, subreddits, and obscure chat rooms, desperate for answers. At first, our search seemed futile, yielding nothing but dead ends and baseless rumors. But then, we stumbled upon a thread that made our blood run cold. "Cursed is not what it seems," the anonymous post read. "It's a tool of the spiral, a secret society that's been manipulating humanity for centuries. They're using the app to collect data, control minds, and spread their influence across the globe. If you're reading this, you're already a part of their plan." The post was accompanied by a grainy photo of a symbol, a black spiral, identical to the one that haunted the Cursed app. My heart raced as I read on, each word painting a picture of a vast, insidious conspiracy that stretched far beyond the confines of our smartphones. According to the post, the spiral had been behind some of the most significant events in human history, from the rise and fall of empires to the advent of the digital age. They had infiltrated governments, corporations, and even religious institutions, all in the name of amassing power and control. And now, with Cursed, they had found the perfect tool to extend their reach into the minds of millions. As Zoe and I dug deeper, we uncovered a trail of mysterious disappearances and deaths, all linked to the app. Influencers, tech moguls, and even ordinary users had vanished without a trace, their last known activity tied to Cursed. It was as if the app was consuming them, body and soul. We knew we had to act fast. The spiral's influence was spreading like a virus, and I was one of its primary vectors. With my millions of followers, I was unwittingly aiding in the spread of the curse, drawing more and more innocent people into its grasp. Desperate for a way out, Zoe and I reached out to a group of hackers who claimed to have inside knowledge of the spiral's operations. They warned us that the only way to break free from the curse was to destroy it from the inside, to infiltrate the app's servers and tear down its digital walls. But as we made our plans, I could feel the curse tightening its grip on my mind. The glitches and distortions became more frequent, more violent. I began to see things that couldn't possibly be real. Shadowy figures lurking in the corners of my vision, whispering voices that echoed in the depths of my skull. I knew I was losing myself to the curse, but I couldn't stop. The allure of Cursed was too strong, its hold on me too deep. Even as I plotted its destruction, I found myself drawn back to the app, compulsively scrolling through its endless feed of horrors. And then, one night, As I lay trapped in a fevered dream, I received a message that shattered any remaining hope of escape. It was from the spiral itself, a taunting, mocking voice that seemed to emanate from the very core of my being. "You cannot stop us, Lina," the voice whispered. "You are ours now, a vessel for the curse. Embrace your fate and join us in the glorious ascension of the spiral." I awoke with a scream, my body drenched in cold sweat. The message was gone, but its words echoed in my mind, a sinister promise of the darkness to come. The air was filled with tension as Zoe and I navigated the dimly lit streets of the city, our footsteps echoing against the pavement. We were on our way to meet with a group of hackers who claimed to have the key to breaking the cursed app's hold on humanity. My heart raced with a mixture of fear and anticipation, knowing that the fate of millions hung in the balance. As we approached the designated meeting spot, a nondescript warehouse on the outskirts of town, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. The curse had eyes everywhere, and I knew that it would stop at nothing to maintain its grip on our minds. Inside the warehouse, we were greeted by a motley crew of tech experts and conspiracy theorists, each driven by a shared determination to unravel the sinister web that had ensnared us all. Among them was Jace, a former Spiral insider who had managed to break free from the curse's grasp. Jace's eyes were haunted as he recounted his tale, revealing the true extent of the Spiral's influence. The cursed app, he explained, was merely the beginning. A trial run for a far more insidious plan that aimed to subjugate all of humanity. The Spiral had infiltrated every aspect of our digital lives, from social media to online banking, and was using our own data against us to control our thoughts and actions. As Jace spoke, I could feel the curse stirring within me, its tendrils tightening around my mind like a vice. It was as if the very air around us was charged with malevolent energy, threatening to suffocate us at any moment. But even in the face of such overwhelming darkness, I refused to surrender. With Zoe and the hackers by my side, we began to formulate a plan, a desperate gambit to infiltrate the Spiral's digital fortress and bring down the cursed app from within. The first step was to hack into the app's servers, a task that proved to be far more challenging than we had anticipated. The Spiral's defenses were formidable, a labyrinth of encrypted code and malicious algorithms designed to ensnare and destroy any who dared to oppose it. For hours, we worked tirelessly, our fingers flying across keyboards as we battled against the curse's digital minions. Sweat poured down my face as I fought to maintain my focus, my mind assaulted by a constant barrage of glitches and distortions that threatened to tear my sanity apart. But even as we struggled, I could feel the curse weakening, its hold on my mind beginning to fray at the edges. With each line of code we unraveled, each firewall we breached, I felt a renewed sense of hope and determination. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, we succeeded in penetrating the app's inner sanctum. But our victory was short-lived, for as we delved deeper into its corrupted core, we found ourselves face to face with the true embodiment of the curse, a malevolent entity of pure darkness and chaos. The entity was a nightmare made manifest, a swirling vortex of corrupted data and twisted algorithms that pulsed with an unholy energy. Its very presence seemed to warp the fabric of reality around us, distorting our perceptions and filling our minds with visions of unimaginable horror. "You dare to challenge me?" the entity hissed, its voice a cacophony of distorted frequencies that grated against my ears. "I am the Spiral, the true power behind the digital age. You are nothing but insects to be crushed beneath my heel." I could feel the curse's influence surging through my veins, threatening to consume me entirely. But even as I teetered on the brink of despair, I refused to give in. With a fierce cry, I rallied my allies for one final assault, pouring every ounce of my will into the battle. The ensuing confrontation was a whirlwind of flashing code and searing pain, as the entity lashed out at us with tendrils of corrupted data. With Zoe and the hackers fighting alongside me, we pushed back against the curse, tearing at its defenses with a fury born of desperation and determination. With a final shattering blow, we tore the entity asunder, watching in triumph as its corrupted code dissolved into nothingness. The curse was broken, its hold on humanity shattered beyond repair. As the entity's corrupted code dissolved into nothingness, I felt a wave of exhaustion wash over me. The battle had taken its toll, both mentally and physically. I looked around at my allies, seeing the same weariness etched into their faces. But beneath the fatigue, there was a glimmer of triumph, a realization that we had accomplished the impossible. We had broken the curse, but the cost had been high. The spiral's influence had spread far beyond the confines of the cursed app, and we knew that the fight was far from over. The entity may have been destroyed, but its legacy lived on in the countless lives it had touched. I looked down at my phone, the device that had once been a source of joy and connection, now feeling like a weight in my hand. The cursed app was gone, but the scars it had left behind would take time to heal. In that moment, I made a decision. I would use my influence, my platform, to spread awareness about the dangers that lurked online. I would work tirelessly to educate others about the importance of digital literacy and the need for greater oversight in the tech industry. But even as I made this vow, I knew that the fight against the darkness would be a lifelong one. There would always be those who sought to exploit the vulnerabilities of the digital age for their own gain.